I'm very lucky to have with us today a professor who was a statistician and has now become a data scientist. It's quite a change. We tend to think data scientists are 19 years old, but she's teaching them. So welcome. Here we are. Please welcome Sahana Prasad. Let's listen to her. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Subodh. So I'm Sahana Prasad. I am basically a statistician. I've been a statistician, statistics professor for the past so many years. I think in 2015, our university decided that they would follow the trend and start merging statistics with data science. Because statistics per se, the pure statistics, is useful, no doubt, but the application is always valid. And I went into the field of data science, and I want to tell you something very interesting here. In 2015, when our university introduced data science subjects, I was just having a casual talk with my other colleagues of Bangalore University when we met for a meeting over some exam papers. So I told them, see, our university is planning to introduce all these subjects and we are all going to be trained. And one of them immediately said, oh my God, they're going to do all this and you're going to learn all this at your age. I mean, he was also my age. He said, at our age, it is so difficult, isn't it? It is very impossible to learn. It's very difficult to learn and then more difficult to teach. Somehow, that kind of, kindled me. I said, why not? Okay, I was in my 40s then. But then I'm not what should I say? I have not crossed the stage of learning. So I learned, actually, they taught us R programming and Excel. And from there, there has been no looking back. I discovered how statistics could be applied to data science. And what a beautiful merger this is. Statistics, mathematics, and data science, computer science. So collectively known as data science, is a very invaluable and a much in demand field. So that is how my journey started. In addition, I'm also a published author. I have written around, I think, 3,000 articles, small ones, about 500 words each, not big ones, on various topics. I've written short stories, I've written educational articles, I'm writing a column for children on data science. Basically, I write in English, Hindi, and in Kannada. And all the three are languages I'm very comfortable in. And so this is my brief introduction.
Well, please tell us. I know you are in data science, but I'm intrigued by the short stories. Whom do you write them for?
See, I started writing on whatever I thought was appropriate. It could be women's issues, it could be a perspective as a teacher, it could be perspective as a common man in the society. So my writing started on a very simple and easy manner. Even now, I don't use jargons. I mean, most of my articles are available on internet. I write in very simple English, and in whatever comes to my mind, honestly. So I don't adorn it with heavy, unfathomable words and so on. So my strong point is probably people-focused articles. And I also write about education. I write about women's issues, coping skills. In fact, I'm not a counselor as such, but I'm associated with two NGOs where I do take sessions on coping skills. So that gives me a lot of course, that's all pro bono work, which I really enjoy apart from my professional work. And I'm also a volunteer with Statistics Without Borders, which is a voluntary organization for statistics. People who need statistical support approach this organization, and we provide them with statistical support.
Okay. Tell us about this coping skills business. I mean, how do you do it? What do you do?
I have conducted a couple of coping skills for elder. It is called, on a platform called Get Set Up India. I think the video should be available there. Let me tell you something very frankly. I have learned coping because of all the years I've stayed on this planet. So whatever coping skills I know are all tested by me or myself. So that way, I have understood that scoping is not something which you can read in books and understand. You have to go through the whole process, whether it is grieving, whether it is tackling interpersonal skills. when you deal with it on a personal level, when you deal with it, then you understand, okay, this is how it has to be done. Right. Definitely self-help books will help. And I do listen to a lot of podcasts, but ultimately, we figure out our own methods. So that is what I did the sessions on. I've conducted about 3 to 4 sessions till now.
Okay, can we go back? Excuse me. Can we go back to the beginning? How come you chose a subject like statistics? I mean, it's like people think statistics is damn boring. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't, but people do. So could you tell the people why you chose this subject and how it happened?
Yeah. Honestly, it again happened just by fluke, so to speak. I was in Delhi University in the year 1987. I completed my mathematics honors. And 3 years of mathematics had kind of, put me off. Then I thought, okay, what shall I do?
By the way, how come you went into mathematics? Now that is even more shocking.
In fact, true,
Most
because
of us cannot be happy with mathematics. And now here you are doing mathematics honors. So tell us about it. What was the
Yeah,
reason?
so actually my school teachers were all very surprised. In Delhi, we had after 10th, we had 11th and 12th. It was again the boards. And my school teachers were surprised when I said that I'd taken mathematics honors. They said, we thought you'll take something like literature, because they all knew that I was very fascinated by literature. So mathematics, um, I don't know. I wanted to do something in mathematics. And when I went into mathematics honors, then I realized how in-depth and how intricate the subject is. Because, we always do these applied mathematics, which we think is problems and formulas and substitutions. But the theory behind those concepts are really mind-boggling. So it was a kind of a conscious choice that I wanted to do mathematics and I wanted to do honors. I was very particular to study that I want to do one thing and I want to do it very well.
Okay.
So, but 3 years was kind of little more. And then there were 3 options in Delhi University. One was operations research, mathematics, and statistics. Mathematical statistics, it was called. And operations research was just a budding subject then. Not many people knew what it was.
Okay.
And some of them also discouraged me, saying that this doesn't have much scope in the real world. So why don't you go ahead and you take up either mathematics or statistics? Then I said, no, again, I don't want to study statistics. So I went into mathematical statistics. I kind of became my destiny.
Okay. So it was not really something you were passionate about. But
no, honestly, no.
But did you become passionate about it?
Yes, I did. In fact, it's like an arranged marriage, where you're not really sure of whether you want to marry this guy and then you fall in love with the guy. It was like that.
I have no experience of arranged marriage, by the way.
No, I'm just giving an example. Yeah. But see, I'll tell you one more thing. I think when I was learning in Delhi University, I was a student, I was young, I was not really, we at that time, 35, 36 years back, we weren't always thinking of career. I think most young girls of my age only wanted to, find a boyfriend and then get married. So I was not really very passionate about the subject. It was only when I started teaching, I realized the immense possibilities. And self-study, made me kind of love
When did
the
you
subject.
start your teaching?
I started it quite early, like immediately after my MSc exam, that is in 1989.
And where?
So that solid 35 years of my teaching career.
Where was your college at that time?
I had moved to Bangalore at that time and I joined a place called NSVK College, where I used to teach both statistics and computer science, theory of computer science, because we didn't have many PCs as of now. In fact, I'll tell you, I joined a company wherein I was supposed to do something on the computer.
Yeah.
And that company was supplying computer teachers to colleges because that time not many people were computer science graduates.
Yeah.
And then they sent me to the college to teach. And it so happened that the college people liked me. They said, why don't you join us? And then I thought, okay, I love teaching and I love being with youngsters. So let me not work in a company. Let me work in the college, which was again a very good decision because I moved into something which I'm very, very passionate about, that is teaching.
Okay. And did it work out for you?
Pardon?
Did it work out for you as
It
you
did,
wanted?
it did,
Yes.
it very much did, because, it was like really God's blessings, because it's something which I really love. In the beginning of my career, probably even till maybe say 10, 11 years ago, I wouldn't say that teaching was a very paying profession, because I was not in a government teaching job. So, but I have no regrets, and I did learn a lot. I think that the best takeaway from this job that was that I became a lifelong learner.
Mhm.
And it's a challenge, because students, computers came, internet came, students started learning on their own. So it was always a challenge to match up to their levels.
Mhm.
So it has become obsolete. If I teach the same old examples, what I learned in my college, they will reject me. So it was very necessary, essential that I need to update myself regularly. And I think that is the biggest advantage of being in a teaching profession
Mhm. Yeah, it
rather than
is. Yeah,
a.
because the thing is, the world is moving on, and you have to move on too.
Yes, true,
This is
true.
absolutely essential.
Yes.
And you are still in the same college, or you shifted?
No, actually, what happened in 2020, my journeys to US started quite frequently. So I visit US because both my children are there. So I visit US uh, at least once or sometimes twice a year, depending on my amount of stay. So I opted for part-time position. So instead of one job, now I have 4 jobs, all part-time, 2 online and 2 offline.
Uh,
And then also I'm associated with BITS Pilani in their work integrated learning program. So I have gone to they have sent me to 2 different places on this training. I do the same thing there at a little higher level. I train the corporates instead of students.
yeah. Now, I'm going to ask you a question that you may choose not to answer. I know there'll be some younger women who will hear this. I think they will want to know how you juggled it all. If personal, professional, everything. If you want to talk about it, please.
Yeah, it is not easy. Let me just put it in a single word. Especially if you're very family oriented and you want to do everything for the children, you want to do everything in the household, you want to be a superwoman, which I always wanted to be. It puts a lot of pressure on the women. And whatever I think the some of these smaller health issues which I have got, like diabetes and triglyceride levels, are all because of stress and strain. And I think I have understood myself that I am a person who wants to do I'm a perfectionist. I want to do the best in the house. I want to do the best in the college. So that put a lot of pressure. It was not at all easy. Yeah, family supported, my husband, my parents, they all supported a lot. But then again, I had to do a lot of, juggling in the last 10 years because my mother fell seriously sick, and then it was a very tough period for us. But yes, I think altogether, family support matters. And also, when you want to do something, you try to find ways of doing it. Okay, I'm going to do this, though you will definitely do it. And that's what I feel. But my advice to definitely younger women is that learn to delegate. Don't be like me trying to do everything by yourself. So that puts a lot of pressure. That puts a lot of pressure.
Yeah, okay, wonderful. Thank you. So, how do you find the difference? You might have talked to people in the US in terms of teaching, etc. How do you find the difference between India and the US?
Yeah, I think in US it is a little more, focused on self-learning. I had attended a program in University of Berkeley on occasion of International Women's Day. And then I found that the way they were talking, they were more focused on we kind of spoon feed our kids. And I've heard not just everywhere it is like that. Whenever I go for board of examiners, I find that the professors also give the same kind of questions and the same kind of things, whatever was done in the class. We don't really test their understanding or their capability. So to a large extent, I think working in Christ University in Bangalore helped me to understand that we had a principal called Father Thomas. In fact, I'm very grateful to him because Father Thomas taught us that you should never you should not think only in these terms. He always used to ask, why are you giving questions like define, how do you do this, state, prove? It's all direct, simple questions. Trigger their intelligence. Ask them, give them a situation, tell them what are you going to apply here. So that is where you get the students to be industry ready. And earlier I was also a teacher like that, my question papers were very predictable. But then I understood that that is not the way we actually should be teaching. Then I started thinking out of the box. And in fact, I have written 2 books. Both of them are published by Springer, which is
Wow.
completely on, yeah, thank you, on case studies. So there is not much of theory. If you see my book, there is not much of theory. It is just that, okay, one situation will be given and which tool will you apply? It is like you have a collection of knives in the kitchen and I have to cut something. Which knife will I use? So the book is completely full of case studies and which tool and which not to use. So it's like a ready reckoner for people who use statistical tools.
Okay, wonderful. So it's an application-oriented book, and
It is.
the students have to learn what to do with it in the real world.
Yeah.
Rather than, I mean, some of us who will be theoretical types, we need to know the theory, right?
Correct.
But then the rest of us who are not so theoretical,
Yeah.
we need
A
to.
bit of theory is good, but we shouldn't be focusing too much on theory and losing out on the application part.
Okay, all right. So what advice do you have for young people? You teach them, so you are in touch with them. So what advice do you have?
I think the current society, there's a lot of demand on the younger generation. In fact, I have seen my students, my own kids, always running in the rat race. So I would like to tell them just one thing. The other things they all know, working hard, aiming for the skies, all that they know. Probably one advice which I would like to give them is to take it easy a bit. Life is always there. It will it's always testing us, it's always giving us new challenges. But I think in that we forget to take it, relax a bit and take it easy and give time to whom we love. I think that is what they should learn, honestly.
Okay, no, I'm glad that you have said it, because can you say how competitive do you think it was when you were young compared to today?
Oh, there is a vast difference. That time things were not like this. It was not like the dog eat dog world, and it is not. We did have, of course. See, times are different. That was 35 years back, and not many people would be there in that field. So, especially statistics, I still remember when my son was born and I had to go on maternity leave. The worrisome thing for me was, whom will I find for a replacement? So because there wasn't people who had done statistics, but now there are a lot of people who are doing statistics who know how to, who are quite good than me, so to speak. So I find that there is a lot of competition, and on the other hand, the quality also has declined. That's what I feel. The few old-time teachers, the dedication, the sincerity is kind of missing in the youngsters. I'm not putting it as a blanket statement. It's on individual basis. It can vary also, because youngsters are like using the teaching profession more as a stepping stone. Okay, statistics. Let me be teaching till I get a government job, till I get a good private job, and that affects their teaching.
Yeah.
And yes, competition is definitely there. As I said, many people are going into the area, so there is a vast change.
Okay. Then, so do you have any final words, or you want to talk about something else? Because you haven't talked much, so please go ahead.
Yeah. Just one thing I feel our universities, and see, we Indians are no less than anybody else, any other country. We have a vast amount of resources. We are very good. We are very intelligent. But somewhere something is lacking. What is that lacking? Even I'm trying to figure out, because since I visit both countries, I find the difference a lot. Probably what we should focus on as teachers and as students is more of application and making our students industry ready. In fact, good you asked me this question, because I suddenly remembered. I'm also a trainer in Madan Mohan Malviya mission of Government of India. And in that, I talk about skill development to teachers, wherein I talk about how skills should be developed in students, not just the skills of studies, not just the skills of their subject, but other skills like personal skills, interpersonal skills, and how to deal with people, how to have a team leadership, and so on. So I think this is vastly lacking. Probably, hopefully, NEP is going to solve all this, wherein we are going to bring in these kind of skills to the students. And I think that is one final word to both teachers and students. It is our duty to equip ourselves and the students in variety of skills, not just academics. That involves our how we handle our emotions, how we handle others. It's not just getting 98% marks and 99% marks. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, these days through this series, I talk to I listen to many young people, and some of those who have come from poor backgrounds say that their teachers helped them a lot. And they sometimes even the teachers paid their fees because the teachers could see that these kids, they have the talent and they can go far. And if somebody is not able to pay, well, the teachers pay. Do you have any comments on that?
I think it's a very good thing because, see, we observe the students more keenly than their parents because they're with us for a majority of the day. And I have seen, especially when I was in Christ, I have seen that there were many people who were the student, the children of our housekeeping staff, the children of our security staff. And there were some instances where they could not either pay the examination fee or they could not afford to go for a picnic, class picnic with the others. And very, discreetly, I have played a role and I have helped them out, whatever I could. And I still remember once one of our housekeeping staff, her daughter got a seat in our BCom. And what I did was that I told her to buy her some good clothes because Christ is a very posh college and children come very neatly dressed. I said, see, I wish your daughter also comes comes very so that she doesn't stand out among the crowd. And the girl finished her graduation. Her mother was a housekeeping staff, and then she got a job at that time of 40,000 rupees.
Wow.
So, that was a very big figure. And I felt she came and she talked to me, and see, whatever I did for her was like a drop in the ocean.
No, but please tell us what you did for her. Because, I find that perhaps India is one of the few countries where teachers do such things, that they go beyond the course for their students. So it's worth recording what you did.
Yeah, that is one thing. And one more thing I remember, there was one boy from Bihar who had come to a college, and he had just joined about 2-3 months back. And one day suddenly he came to my cabin. I said, I want to talk to you. I said, okay, what happened? I thought he's going to talk about attendance or some such thing. And he started shivering, his hands were shaking. And he was on the verge of tears. I said, what happened? He said, I'm not able to cope. I have come from a very small city in Bihar and a big city like Bangalore. And that too, I've come to a very institution where there are students from all over the world. I don't know how to speak English. I'm not able to mingle with these students and I'm not able to cope. I don't know what to do. And honestly, I was very scared because I'm not a trained counselor. I told him, shall I send you to the counselor with a word? He said, no, I don't want to go to the counselor. He was very adamant. Then I said, okay, do one thing. I taught him whatever I could, I didn't have the formal knowledge. Counselors probably would have dealt with it in a better way. But I told him that every week you should come and talk to me. Because I wanted to ensure that I knew he wanted a motherly figure, basically. See, it was not that anybody could help him. So I just gave him a few tips. I told him, go learn English, buy some books on English speaking. That time internet was not that much. Then he graduated and he's still in touch with me and he has grown into a fine young man. So there are many such cases where it has given me, that is where you feel that, okay, good. I'm glad I'm in this profession. I could make a difference to someone's life. So there are many stories like that. And I feel very privileged that I was able to help somebody in whatever little way I could.
Meaning you were a real teacher, not the person who comes to the classroom. You were a real teacher.
That's what I've been trying to do all along.
All right. Okay. Anything else you want to add here?
Thank you so much, Subodhji. I'm really grateful to you for this opportunity. It was really nice of you to consider me for your talk.
Well, as you can see, you have proved that you are more than, interesting, and you have such a varied experience, and you have all brought it to life so well. And I'm glad that others will get to know of it. This is really what we need. So, okay, let's end it here today. And I'll be back with another young person or an expert. Bye till then. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.